Now, the National Investment Bank, NIB, says it is on track to fully recapitalize after completing work on establishing true financial position of the institution. NIB was one of the 4 banks given a special dispensation by the Bank of Ghana to recapitalize. This follows commitment from the Finance Ministry, its major shareholder, of appreciating the capital position of the institutions before it injects fresh capital. The Finance Ministry has so far injected 800 million cedis, with the remaining 1.2 billion expected in the coming months. Samuel Sapong is Managing Director of the NIB.
A strategic plan, as I said, developed, which would transform the bank into financing industrial development, supporting industrial development. That is ongoing, and we have the support of the Ministry of Finance as well. And there's a clear plan in terms of recapitalization. There was a bit of a delay in terms of the government providing the necessary capital, primarily because they wanted to understand the true state of the bank. So that true state became certain when we completed the 2018 audit last year, and the government showed commitment to that by basically putting in the 2019 budget a provision to provide a PCOA, or a sovereign guarantee, if I may put it in simple terms, to GAT in order to raise the money for NIB. So there's a clear commitment by the government to get NIB back on track. But they wanted to make sure that any money that was provided to us was being managed well, and we've shown that. Right, the new management and the new board has shown the ministry with our ability to be able to manage the funds well and to turn this bank around.
I get more details on the capitalization process, but you explained to me earlier on about your disposing of your interest in Nestle. So when did that transaction take place?
This took place in last year, and basically it helped provide the needed capital, the needed liquidity that the bank needed. So that money is being used judiciously. Today, we're able to meet all customer obligations. We don't have issues in terms of meeting customer obligations at all. And not at all. It's been made clear. I think there's been some misconception in terms of the role of the National Development Bank. The National Development Bank is not going to be competing with NIB or any other bank in terms of funding customers, but rather it's a source for long-term money, which is not available currently in Ghana, and so another channel for all other banks to be able to access long-term money at reasonable interest rates, so that we can finance these long-term projects.
I think the concern might be coming here because of the fact that having the same shareholder, when it comes to even recapitalization issues, are we going to get the same commitment? Are we going to get that commitment from the shareholder in supporting these two institutions with that required capital? What commitment have you gotten from your shareholder that, despite they also spearheading this development bank, all the required support would also be given to National Investment Bank?
We have been working over the past year with the Ministry of Finance in terms of the recapitalization of NIB, and they've shown commitment to that. As you recall, they facilitated the Nestle transaction, which basically allowed us to sell our Nestle shares to the government in exchange for about 500 million to improve the liquidity of the bank. There's an option to buy back those shares. So although the ministry holds it at the moment, or owns the shares, there's an option as NIB's situation improves, we will buy back those the shares. In addition, recently we've had an 800 million injection, which was a bond, and we are in the process of converting the bond over the next 2 months into equity, because as you know, about 5% of the shares are held by minority shareholders. So we have to go through a rights issue in order to be able to convert that into equity.